Hi, gorgeous Chelsea.
Hi.
So excited to speak with you. Look how committed you are in your car. I love it.
Always committed.
So listen, before we dive in, oh my goodness, you've shifted so much from our first phone call, which actually really wasn't that long ago. Before we dive in though, could you just tell us, what part of the world you're in, how old you are, what you do, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm in Melbourne, Australia. I just hit 40 this year. So it's birthday year for me. And what was the next question? What do I do?
What you do, yeah, what you do.
Yes, I am blessed enough to do what I actually love. I'm a personal stylist. So I take people shopping.
Yes, you do. Rocking it.
I do.
Love it. When I'm in Australia, we could book a session because I never get out of this thing. Anyway, so let's dive in, Charles, back to if you can actually even connect with where you were before, like when we first had our call. Like if you can just close your eyes and tune into where you were in your life, what was going on, because I do remember getting an email directly sent to me that it was urgent that we speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you really were.
Yeah, I was not in the greatest place of my life, probably. I was pretty broken from a heartbreak.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one took me a long time to get over, probably the longest ever. So yeah, it was not, even though I'm a pretty happy, bubbly, positive person, it was just for me not the greatest place of my life. And I'm someone who knows when I'm like that, I need to get myself unstuck. So I need the help.
That in itself is so freaking powerful. Like, for those of you watching this, you can tell, and you'll be able to tell further as we get into this, like Chelsea's default is positive. She is someone that if something's not right, she's going to go and say, okay, what do I need to do? And I just want you to hear like how powerful that is. That takes a powerful person to really get that versus, oh my God, I've got to figure this out on my own. So just continuing on, where were you at internally? Like what was the undercurrent that was going on day to day where this felt like something that you needed to actually solve? How was it showing up? How was it showing?
Oh, probably my health mainly. Yeah. I have been diagnosed for the last 10 years with IBS and chronic constipation. So everything was just stuck. I was walking around in a body that was continuously bloated and uncomfortable. And I just thought that was the norm. Like I just thought that that's what I had to, that's how my life was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That, oh my God, everything you're saying right now is like gold dust because, whether you have IBS, or migraines or something else that's, I had another girl that came to me, she had the same thing. She was just, she had colon issues, right? I have women that come to me that have really bad migraines or really bad anxiety. We could go on and on. These things that keep flaring. I had another girl who had a really bad hip, but it's not just the hip, it's what's underneath that. And what's interesting, Chelsea, is it was quite debilitating for you, right? But you'd accept it like this is just the way that it is. That's the point that I want to share. It's like it's amazing how we sweep our anxiety or, in Chelsea's case, her IBS, constipation's no joke, under the rug and we just accept it and then we keep battling on. But that's huge, the impact of what that was actually like for you every day.
Absolutely. And even I think it was within the first week or two of Soul to Soul where I started to put me first and go, no, this is not how life should be. So, even doing the mindset work through the modules really kind of helped me to, I guess, my body just to start to relax and release. But then I also started looking at other avenues to get it sorted as well too. And not just going with the, doctor's diagnosis of, there's nothing we can really do. So yeah.
And then what I witnessed, and which was pretty freaking spectacular, was, as we know, everything really has an emotional origin. And I never forget you when you came on one day and you're like, oh my God, you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Go for it.
Better coming from you. Why don't you say it? Better coming from you.
I think it was I just pooed 3 days in a row. I'm
Yes.
assuming that was what you were going to say.
It was, but as I said, that's not mine to share. But it was like, it was so powerful because it was like, you were like, Lucy, like everything's releasing. Everything was stuck emotionally. And that's why this is so powerful that you're sharing this, because you can't just have these symptoms going on in your body and write it off to something external. It's always representing what's going on internally for us. And Chelsea got that, and she saw it firsthand. And I remember the elation. I remember you were like in one of them, I think you were even crying. You were just like, oh my
Probably.
God. I remember.
Pooing 3 days in a row is probably quite normal for some people, but it wasn't for me. And I hadn't really had any other treatment at that point. Yes, I was getting a lot of tests done and trying to, dig deeper, but it was just more about the, listening to myself and probably calming myself. I'm someone who's very go, go, go all the time. I was always busy, always doing things, no time for stopping. Yes. And I guess that was a lot of the cause as well too. There was no kind of sitting and resting and just,
being in the feminine. That's what started to really open up and unlock for you. And as you girls watching can see, like, this is a little firecracker of a human over here, Chelsea. She wants something, she'll go and get it, but just so you can see yourself inside of her. And also, this is totally my story too. We can't get where we want to go nearly as easily when we have the feminine plugged in. When it's all masculine, do, it's exhausting and it's short-lived. It doesn't have the lifespan that when we're truly operating out of that love of self, belief in the unseen, and like, I can have these things without pushing. That's what I started to notice shift in you, is your feminine, Chelsea. Like, you're naturally beautiful, but there was this being energy. Do you remember? Like, there was a distinct shift where suddenly you were sitting down into who you were.
Yeah.
You started manifesting like a mother freaker.
Absolutely. And all of a sudden, I was always that girl that never wore dresses. I hated wearing dresses. I was always pants. And all of a sudden, my styles changed this year. I've just kind of wanted more of that softness and that flow, and that reflected in my style. Yes.
And so we're gonna fast forward. So you've been out of Soul to Soul for a little while now, and you stayed hardcore with the process. Yeah, I really want to acknowledge that. It's a very important piece of this. Soul to Soul is an 8-week program. And one thing I made clear is, listen, we've been with our souls for over 30 years. So you've got to keep working this muscle. Chelsea has, relentlessly, because she's committed as F. And so now there is some pretty juicy news. If you'd like to share it with us, just a bit of a peek.
Absolutely. Oh, how do I say it? I met my human. Like, it was just different. It was, I don't know. I kind of look back at all my past relationships and think, I thought that was a great connection with them, and I thought they were the one. And this is just like totally different. It is like nothing I ever expected. There's a much deeper level of connection, and it was instant.
Well,
we're like best friends. Okay. Seriously, from the get-go.
So there's a couple of things I'm just going to even feed back to you on what I've witnessed, is when Chelsea had mentioned past relationships. And again, Chelsea, I see myself so much in you. I was a professional rescuer. I was attracting men that didn't have their shit together or a little bit broken, whatever. Chelsea was doing the same. Great guys, lovely people, but just not being able to give her what she needed, right? And now this person, when she mentioned him at the very first moments I heard about him, what is being reflected back is Chelsea came home to who she was. So I don't want to just be like, yay, like now she's with a soulmate. I want to explain and go beneath the surface to say that Chelsea put the pieces of her own jigsaw puzzle together to become the whole beautiful, flourishing version of herself. And that is why it's not a coincidence. It's not a mystery. There's a science to it, right? It's literally like you plugged into the greatness of who you really are. You got your feminine on, and then you were like, no, I'm not settling for what I've been accepting in the past. I want to have what I want to have. And sure enough, with your commitment, which is what I want to celebrate, to you, Chelsea, being the leading lady, loving on yourself, plugging into your feminine, doing the mindset work. I want you girls to hear this is not just like, yeah, like just walk in and it's done to you. That's just not how it works. Chelsea has been so fucking committed. And that's what I want to shine the light on right now. Anyone that's going to tell you, cool, come and do these few things and your soulmate's going to walk in, doesn't exist. Does it, Chelsea? Like, this has been you looking at yourself hardcore, doing the deep work. And then now, yes, it feels effortless, I'm sure, because it's all plugged in, which is how it's meant to feel. But I just wanted to, the reason you and I are talking is so that other people can see what's possible. And it is possible for every single one of us. I just want to declare that. It's not like, you know, I'm special over here with my soulmate and Chelsea is what we have in common, Chelsea and I and Women in Soul to Soul, is we made this the priority.
Absolutely.
And Chelsea was like, this is not negotiable. And that's why he showed up and he sounds amazing.
Oh, incredible. I don't know what planet he came from, but it's freaking awesome. And it's like he's the male version of me, which is what I need. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're we're like,
share with us like how you said this is just so different. I'd love just to hear more about like what's so different, what feels so different.
Yeah, I guess I want to say the first thing that I noticed when we actually met, and it was instant, it was the way he looked at me. It was not like eye contact. It was like, and this is something I would probably never say in the past, but it was like he was seriously looking into me. Yeah. It was. I don't know. I've never had that before in my whole 40 years of life. It was different. And it was different, and that's the way he looks at me every single time. Like it's a connection on a different level. It was just like we were instant best friends, and we've like even people that saw us on our second date. It's like you guys look like you've been together for 6 months. Totally. And I can bring up anything with him. Like we're laughing because we're thinking these conversations come 12 months down the track, but we're already having them.
When it's right. I'm getting chills, full chills.
Yeah, I just feel like I can say anything to him, and I do, which is great. I wasn't covering my greys. I wasn't, I've third date in, I didn't even have makeup on. It was just.
But that's because that's just, just so that you guys watching can see, that's because Chelsea created intimacy with herself. A lot of what's taught in Soul to Soul is about getting so into the feeling of what it's actually like to be with this person. It's not a checklist. It's not just like, yeah, we're just going to call in some guy. No, it's about that relationship with yourself, Chelsea, and that being that soulmate to yourself and having that, as I said, I can't say it any other way, that intimacy, that love, that reverence, really feeling like the most special person in your life, which is why, of course, when you're describing him, you're like, just the way he sees me. In order to attract someone in that sees you like that, Chelsea, that's because you've been doing that for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, we can't receive it. Otherwise, we can't possibly receive it. We can go on dates every night of the week, and this is where women are just hitting their head against a wall, being like, I'm trying, I'm out, I'm wearing my best dress, I've got my hair done, but it's none of that.
No, and even he talks about 18 months ago, if we had met, he wouldn't have been in the right place because he's done so much work on himself in the last 18 months. He's gone and done men's retreats.
Love it.
He's Mr. Me.
Oh, this is so delicious because that's exactly the same with Anam. Like we pretty much had the same bookshelves. I couldn't believe when I went to his house and I was like, we have the same books. Like we saw life the same way. And it was that whole, I so like am the same. And it was just instant and it was just grounded and like natural. And he'd been off just like your guy on his own journey. And that is literally the law of attraction. No, they don't have to be doing the same work, but it's just so cool when you can get that, like, if you're going to apply yourself and prioritize this area of your life, you're going to attract someone in that has an interest in being the best version of themselves. Otherwise, Chelsea, you wouldn't be able to be with them. You'd be like, this guy's a basket case. I can't do that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And even after Soul to Soul, the dating, even the men I was attracted in were a different breed, let's call them. They weren't the ones, but there was definitely a shift in who I was attracting. They were a lot more grounded. They were a lot more secure. Yes. So it was right from the get-go. it took me a couple of dates to find that next level. But yeah, it was instant coming out of Soul to Soul.
Beautiful. So what would you say, what would you say to a soul sister right now that she's just done? She knows that that like what she's doing isn't working. She knows she's a great catch, but she's just like, I don't want to have another year of experiencing the same shit.
Yeah. Just take the plunge. Just trust that this is right for you, and you deserve so much more. Just do it. Just take the plunge. Yeah.
Because and here's the deal, because I love being transparent, but like, you had fear coming up for you as you were saying yes. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was like, I remember you were like,
Yeah, it took me, I don't know how long we're on the phone for, but it took me a while. But the instant I said yes, everything just let go. I was like, this is the right decision for me.
Beautiful.
Like, I know when something's right.
I actually think that's the best thing you can, because it's not for everyone. So it's like, if you're resonating with Chelsea and you've watched other testimonials, or you're in this group for a reason, trust that, trust that if you're really feeling connected to it, that there's something behind that. Because Chelsea and every other woman that's come into Soul to Soul definitely didn't find their way in there from here. It was a deeper, like, this feels right.
Yeah.
Right? And it has to feel like that. Even though I remember, like, she was like, it was literally like that.
Totally.
She's like, I want to do it. I've just got to pull the trigger. I remember the energy from you.
Yeah.
But then once you did, you were in like Flynn, and you were committed, and everything just went.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know when I know it. It's been like that. As soon as I found out personal styling was a job, I knew it was for me. Like, it was within 24 hours that I enrolled in a course, starting my own business, and I figure it's just going to be the same with Mr. Me. I just know.
Well, can we just, before we jump off, what I also loved with witnessing you, Chelsea, was that you weren't actually, and women that relate to this, you weren't necessarily wanting to get married or have children, and
No.
you need a big shift. Can you share that?
So I totally want to get married. Definitely. Told him that on the first date.
Oh my God, yeah. Story.
Dude, I totally want that moment where somebody tells me that they want to spend the rest of their life with me. And I never really said that before this year, because I just thought that would never happen, or I just thought that, maybe nobody would ever love me, or I had that story going on in the background. And but it was funny, because whenever I see somebody get engaged throughout my whole life, I'll be crying. Like, you can't even talk to me if I'm in that moment, whether I'm watching it on TV or seeing it anywhere. Like, I will just be zoom. And I wanted that moment. I just never said it.
So powerful. And then even with children, you're like open to that? I'm
open to the fact that I've just never met the right person.
Right.
I actually want them. I've always said my whole life, I've never had the urge to have them. And I haven't. I don't know whether I ever will, but I am open to the fact that it's because I, had never felt supported enough or loved enough, or just been in the right space.
And it doesn't, and here's the deal, like, it doesn't, I've got plenty of women I work with that don't want children. I've got plenty of women that do. It's not about whether you do or don't. What I'm celebrating here is Chelsea was adamant. It was so funny. And I was like, maybe you'll start to open up to marriage, because I said that little girl inside, she wants to get engaged. She wants to feel, and now you're just like, oh yeah, I want to get married. And even just the fact that you're just like, oh, when you're with the right person, it's like things do open up. That's so beautiful.
Absolutely. And he's already like, I'm already visualizing our wedding day. And I'm like, all right, you better make sure it's outdoors and like somewhere tropical like Bali.
It's going to happen quickly. I just, you're going to be such a beautiful bride. Oh my God.
But even he has a son, and even before meeting him, I do a little stalk on his Instagram, and just seeing them together, like, I wanted to be a part of that. Like, it's just beautiful, their relationship, and I'm like, I want in. I want in on that, which is not normally me. Yeah.
I could listen to this all day long. And I know, I can feel, he must feel like he's won the jackpot with you.
Yeah, absolutely. He tells me every day.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a day. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm like literally could go into labor on the strength of this. So I was like 40 weeks. I'm like welling up. I'm emotional and I'm so proud of you, Chelsea. I mean,
Thank
I love
you.
You know this. I love you on our first phone call. I just love your energy. I love that you're willing to take a stand for yourself, to go, hey, I just need some support. And now looking at where you're at, it's just fucking amazing.
Yeah, and I want to thank you. I'm going to tear up right now. Thank you. You incredibly amazing woman, yeah? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Cry first.
I don't have a tissue. Thank you. You're an incredibly powerful woman.
My biggest pleasure. Seriously, like it's just, there isn't anything better. It's funny, this is the thing. My OB's like, over here they call it OBGYN. My doctor is like, Lucy, you know you have to stop working. I was like, yeah, but I really love what I do. So
yeah, and I get that.
Thank you. And it's such an amazing honor to, when you get, because I attract the most phenomenal women. I'm constantly having a brag fest about women like you, but Chelsea, just seeing the huge transformation, because you always, this is the thing I want you girls to hear watching this, like you've got the goods, you've got the magic inside of you, you're fucking lovable, you can have this relationship, but we all, myself 100% included, when we get that support where someone is holding a space for us, right, which I had as well, that's when everything starts to happen and shift. And
totally.
You know, and you know, there isn't a price you can put on that. And I am just watching this space with you. I can't wait to see all these celebrations coming up, these beautiful wedding pictures. Maybe I'll just, you know, be invited to the wedding. And
yeah, I'm like, you don't need wedding pictures because you'll be there.
Yes, I would love to be there.
But yeah. I also do want to touch base on, I've done self-development for at least 10 years now, good 10 years. And while all that has done wonders, what you did was different. What you did was gave me what was missing, I guess, from everything I had done in the past. So, yeah.
Well, cue the celebration song, Alexa. I've got to be careful with her because I can't control Alexa. I think Alexa needs to do Soul to Soul. My girls in Soul to Soul laugh. She just like goes on these tirades. So I won't actually speak to Alexa right now because she'll start playing weird songs. But Chelsea, if anyone wants to reach out to you, please don't harass her. She's really busy. But if they want to ask you a couple of questions, are you cool with that?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Oh my God. That was so delicious to be a part of this conversation.
Thank you.
And as I said, I'll have to work out what I'm wearing to the wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a couple of months.
Yeah. All right. A couple of months. Thank you. Thank you. All right, beautiful one. Thank you so much.
Okay, darling. Bye.
Bye.